Hello everyone, so today we'll start studying gravitation. So there are number of questions. First question is that how this sun and earth this earth revolve around the sun in a particular manner. Second question, how this moon that you see at night revolves around this earth. And the third question is, when you jump or when you throw a ball, it comes down the ground. Why these three things happens? So these three questions have been answered in this chapter, gravitation. So let's just start with this chapter. First of all, it is giving us a brief introduction about the previous chapters that we have learned and how we can relate that thing to this gravitation chapter. So motion you have studied in chapter 1 and chapter 1 of physics, and it's there you learned that change in position with respect to time is motion. What the sentence meant is that if this train is there and you are standing in the station and you look that my train is coming to the platform, and at t is equal to 1 minute, because train slows down when it reaches the platform, it took 1 minute and it stops right here, and you'll see that it in throughout this 1 minute, after 1 minute the train has changed its position. So it has changed its position with respect to time. One more aspect is there with respect to you declared that train is in motion because you see that the train has in the position A and now it is in the position B. But for the passenger who is sitting inside this train will not say that train is in motion, they say you are in motion. See, if passenger is just seeing you, he will see you in this position A, this path is A, and now when he see you in path B, it would take small b, let's say small a. So for that passenger it took 1 minute for you to change the position, okay, and that is how it is respective, means if you are seeing yourself or the person sitting inside the train. So motion is the change in position with respect to time with the reference point. That is very important. Now motion is caused by force, okay, due to force motion has been occurred. Okay, what is then force? Then it is the change in speed or direction of an object. Like if you have changed the speed or you have changed the direction, you have done, or a force is applied to that object. Okay, now there are a lot of forces which you don't have to study. You need to study gravitational force in this. Okay, now gravitational force will help you to understand these type of question, and let me remind you these please learn these question because I'll be answering these things in the next slides. Next, gravitational force. We have been learned that there are a lot of forces. One is the gravitational force occurs due to the object which has mass. Okay, then let's just take two balls. One has got mass A, ma, and one has got mass B. Now what I'm saying is that this mass A will attract this body with the force Fa, and this will also attract the body with Fb. Okay, now Sir Isaac Newton came and he derived the equation for that force. He said that this force which they are applying is the product of their masses, and it is inversely proportional to the distance square. Okay, it means that if they have been separated by 2, so our force will be reduced by 4. Okay, so force has been reduced, so distance is very important. Okay, now we'll see F is directly proportional to m1 m2 upon r square. Now if we know that if we have to remove this directly proportional sign, we need to add a constant, so that constants become capital G. Capital G has been calculated as 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 11, and in NCERT book it's 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 11. This G has been calculated, that you don't have to worry in the formula. G has been calculated, you need to just know about the mass 1 and 2 and their distances between them. Okay, so let's just talk about the SI unit of this G, and the two questions will emerge with you. That okay, we understand that it is the product of m1 and m2, so how he has predicted that it is inversely proportional to r square, not r? First question emerges there. Second emerges how he has been calculated G. So Isaac Newton sir has not calculated G, it was the other scientist who have calculated this value G. Now for the SI unit of force, that is Newton per kg, Newton, its SI unit is Newton, or we can say kg per meter per second square. Okay, so that we know. Now for SI unit of G, that we should know, so let I derive to you for you, like F is equal to, write first of all the formula that you have given. Okay, now just see, I know the SI unit of force, I know the SI unit of masses, and I know the SI unit of this distance. So can I write everything and remains this? Okay, so for force I don't want to write Newton because it does not give me accurate answer. I would add kg meter per second square, okay, is equal to G into kg upon meter square. So 1 kg cancels. Now with reference to G, it will be m cube upon s square. Now kg, what I think is that I know that kg, okay, what I have made the mistake is that this kg will come down, so let's just replace this kg and put this down. Okay, I want this SI unit to be in Newton because it is so long to just answer that. So for having the SI unit in Newton, what I see is that I multiply this by kg and upon kg. If I multiply kg and I can cancel it, so it is okay for you to write down kg upon kg? Yes. Now G is equal to, now I know that kg meter upon second square is Newton. I put separately, and what I did is whatever is remained, I just wrote it down meter kg square. So this whole bunch becomes Newton, and now you get the answer, that is Newton meter square kg inverse or if you don't want to like this, you can write this also, upon kg. Okay, now this is how the force, gravitational force, you can calculate for any objects. So your question will be there that if I am having a mass, like I have a mass of 40 kg and my friend has mass of 50 kg, we are also applying the same gravitational force then. If we are separated from a distance, ma'am, you have said that if we are separated from a distance and we take a mass, now we also have a gravitational force. But why can't we understand, why can't we feel that force, gravitational force? When I throw my ball and the ball comes down, okay, I can see some forces are there, the earth is attracting something, and that force we call it a gravitational force. Okay, ma'am, now why this my friend and I don't exert a gravitational force? Okay, now what happened between you two is that your force is negligible, like it cancels, or it becomes so negligible that you can't feel the gravitational force. Okay, that you need to understand. Ever you have seen that I have not asked anything about I have not given an example of a real life situation. I have always include a celestial body which is so huge, like earth, like sun, like moon, I have said, or a ball with the earth. I said those forces. Okay, but I never mentioned about us. We also exert gravitational force on each other, but that is so low that you can't feel that gravitational force. That is why we can't say that we exert a force. We can't feel it, but it is there. You have got mass, you are separated from a distance, definitely you are having some gravitational force. Okay, let's just start with the next slides. Okay, so I have taught you a lot of things, like that Sir Isaac Newton has given this whole bunch of force formula. I have said that, okay, G, that you need to search in your NCERT that who is the person who has discovered this G value. You will got in the NCERT book, there it is written. Your homework is there to find it out, that who is the scientist who get the value of this capital G. Now my question was that, okay, mass we can understand, okay, the two masses are there, we are going to multiply it and then we are finding the force. But how did Sir Isaac Newton comes into the conclusion that it is inverse of the distance between them? Why can't it be 1 upon r? So for that I am going to introduce the next scientist, that is Kepler sir. Kepler sir has been into the name for introducing the planetary motion. Okay, now planets, okay, planets motion, let's just call it. Okay, so this sir has taken a lot of time to introduce how the planet move around sun, or how the planet moves around the space. So he have taken a bunch of laws with it, and through that laws Newton find out about 1 upon r square. Okay, so let's just see how. Now Kepler sir doesn't know about gravitation at all. He was not cared he does not worked in the gravitational force. It is sure only the Sir Isaac Newton who gave this gravitation concept and gravitational force. Kepler sir has given the planet's motion. Let's just start with the laws. Now he said that planet do not move in the circular orbit. Okay, what we do in the junior classes, that we we place a sun in the center and we just make a circle and we just make a earth over here and our drawing has been completed. No, this is wrong. Laplace say that earth does not revolve around us around the circular orbit, rather it revolve around the elliptical orbit. Now elliptical orbit, what is this elliptical orbit and how circle is different from eclipse? Okay, elliptical orbit. So this circle has one radius, okay, but elliptical path has two radius, or you can say foci. Okay, it has two centers. Okay, so one center has sun, okay, other doesn't have this, or either you have got our earth, our teeny tiny earth. Okay, now this is how a planet moves. Okay, this is how Mercury moves, this is how Mars move, everything moves like that. Okay, second law, he say that due to this elliptical orbit, okay, this is the sun, this is our earth. Okay, you will say, okay, this distance will be so this distance traveled by this earth and this distance, if their area is equal, if A1 and is equal to A2, then the area, the time that will covered by this, because this is a longer distance that you can see and this is the smaller, but the time taken by the earth is constant. Okay, time from here to here and here to here will be constant. Okay, now the third law that he has given that lead to 1 upon r square theory was this: r cube upon t square is equal to constant. This helps us to understand the orbiting and timings of the Jupiter and everything. We can calculate the radius. Now with that radius we can calculate the time taken to complete the revolution and all. Those are the work for astronomers and the physicists. Okay, we are concerned with this formula. Okay, r cube upon t square is equal to constant. Now F is directly proportional to v square upon r. In the later classes you will see the circular motion, centripetal force is there, v square upon r is there, that you will study it. Now let's just consider this is the formula, v square upon r. Now we know that distance upon time. Now distance is 2 pi r. Let's just take not elliptical because our equation will be much tougher. So 2 pi r upon t. Now if we square it, we'll see we got r square upon t square. Now v square is directly proportional to r square upon t square. Now multiplied by r, you'll get this formula, r cube upon t upon r. Now what you'll say this is the constant. Now v square is equal to 1 upon r. Now this has been there. Now put this formula in this, force, and you will get F is directly proportional to 1 upon r into 1 upon r, that is 1 upon r square. This is how Sir Newton gets this answer. Now you remember the questions that I have asked you earlier when I have started this chapter, that how this earth is revolving around the sun and how moon revolve around the sun and how you throw the ball and it goes back. Okay, so if you'll see, if I apply m1 and I apply m2, we got the force, there is the tension between them, that is why they are going in the elliptical orbit. If there is no gravitational force, this earth should have gone in the straight line, like for example, you are a person and you have a thread and you have a stone and you revolve around this. And what happened when you when you break this stone will not go in a circular path, it will follow a straight line. Okay, that you know. Now if gravitational force has not been present, the earth should go like a stone in a straight line, but it is not. It is from a million years ago he started revolving around the sun, and it is now also revolving in the same manner. Okay, now second answer is also clear, that earth has mass ma, let's just check, and moon has got mass mb, and it is revolving around it, and that is because of the gravitational force. Okay, it's easy. Now if I talk about this ball, it goes up and goes down. This is earth. Okay, it comes down. This is also the gravitational force, but this gravitational force we called it gravity. Okay, this we will study in the next video, where I be introducing a topic called gravity and how earth and we interact each other with the help of gravitation. Thank you. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel.